This is the Rays POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Tampa Bay Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Tampa Bay Rays POSTCAST, your spot for instant Rays reaction after every single game. My name is Jonathan Shields. Make sure you guys go follow me on Twitter at Johnny10Shields. And I'm running out of ways to describe this team. Yesterday, it was anger. Today, it's like you got punched in the face. It really is. Not even the gut. It's right in the face. And this loss is not on the bullpen. It's Fairbanks' first home run this year. Just comes at the worst time. And the Rays pitched around so much traffic. The Rays should have lost this game 5 different times. With the leadoff walks, the walks in general has been just a massive problem the last 2 games. Today, they have another 4 walks. It felt like more. It's just I really don't know how to describe it. It's literally like a punch in the gut. I don't know if that ball's landed yet. It was absolutely demolished. So everyone's going to want to blame this game on the bullpen. This game was on the offense. Only one Rays player had an RBI today. The Rays scored 4 runs and only 1 was an RBI. That's awful. There is no reason why Hyun Kim should be taking a day off, man. I get with the rehabbing him, but are coming back, but with the way this offense is, watching Caballero try to hit right now is ridiculous, especially against a righty. He's like one of the worst qualified hitters against a righty this year. Oh, no, he's not. Completely overdramatic, very overdramatic. Seeing 212 against a righty, but that's one of the worst I meant on the Rays team, not out of qualified hitters. But man, I don't even know what to say. The Rays have given up their lead in the wild card. The Rays have given up their lead against Boston. Boston's won 8 in a row. The Rays have lost let me go look exactly what the Rays have lost before I ramble on any further. The Rays were 11 games above 500. Now they're only 5. And they're I don't know how the Rays, since they swept the Royals, have won 4 games. And during that time, they've lost 10 games. 4-10 in the last 14 games. And tomorrow they go up against one of the 2 best pitchers in baseball with an offense that has been inept for the last week, really. In this game, the Rays, what was the final number? 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position. And one of those didn't even, come up with a run. In the third, you get first and third, nobody out. And you get it to first and second, or first and third, 2 outs, and then base loaded 2 outs, and then all the pass balls. The Rays got a runner into scoring position in the 6th, in the 7th, in the first, obviously in the 3rd. Just a lot of meat left on the bone. And I'm speechless. It was such just a punch in the gut to see what happened. And you could just tell. I'm surprised it didn't happen earlier. With the way the bullpen was throwing, with the way that Joe Boyle really just navigated through mistakes, was just quite impressive for him to not have his best stuff and just navigate through that. But yeah, I don't even know what to say. You look up and down this lineup. Yandy 0 for 4. This is one of the biggest games of the year. Best player is 0 for 4 with a walk and ground out. If he ever stopped hitting the ball on the ground, Yandy would hit 330 again. Josh Lowe 0 for 4. Cabby 0 for 4. And it becomes a point where you have Taylor Walls hitting 6th, and right away he gets 2 opportunities with runners in scoring position and does nothing. Absolutely nothing. The one he gets, of course, was no one on base. Anytime Taylor Walls hitting 6 in your lineup, that's a generationally bad lineup, in my opinion. And I don't know what the switch is with Brandon Lau out. It's definitely with Hyun Kim playing and not Jose Caballero. And I know Cabby's going to play tomorrow because it's a lefty, but maybe it's good for Josh Lowe to get a day off because he's not been good recently. And, it's good that Curtis Mead came back up. I would have played him over Cabby. I hope that Curtis Mead gets the next 2 starts because he's more dynamic as a hitter. And Cabby especially made some great plays. Walls, Caminero did, but man, it was such a punch in the gut. So that's where we get to our turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Like I said, I mean, I haven't felt this defeated after a Rays loss since I think Game 2 against Boston in 2021, where Luke Lowe hit the grand slam and then Boston came back. The worst part is, at least to me, like, you can just see it's coming. Like, you can feel it coming. You don't know when, but you feel it coming, especially when the Rays didn't add on, especially in, I think it was the 7th when Simpson got the double and they didn't add on there. But you feel it coming. You feel it. You feel it. You feel it. And it's only a matter of time. And it just hit at the worst part. I thought the Rays got it, man. They got it to Pete. They finally got to Pete with the 1-run lead. But Pete Fairbanks is a very good relief pitcher. He is not an elite level closer. He's not Chapman. Granted, Chapman's probably the best relief pitcher of the last 20 years. But, you know, he's not even, you know, Pete's not a ninth inning guy. Pete's is an eighth inning guy. And, you know, I don't want to overreact. I mean, it's not on Pete. It's his first home run, just comes at the worst time. But, you know, he had to throw that pitch because, again, he was floating. He wasn't in the zone. And so much of that came, you know, with the Rays. So Seattle won today. The Rays are only a half game up in the wild card after being, I think it was 4.5 up. You know, the Rays during this worst stretch of the season have watched the Blue Jays win 10 in a row and the Red Sox win 8 in a row. And I'm being completely honest with you guys. I'm coming up. I don't know how the Rays are going to win tomorrow. Like, you can come up with ways they're going to get to whatever. Like, the Red Sox are a bare minimum going to score 4 or 5 runs tomorrow. I don't see how the Rays score 4 or 5 runs against Crochet tomorrow. I have just zero idea. Let me know if you guys think differently, and that's the point of doing this. So if you guys are in the live, make sure you leave a like and comment. We'll be getting to all the comments. We're going to leave some extra time for the comments in this one because of just how frustrating it was. So, you know, we talked about how big the series was. We talked about the Rays had to do in it. And, you know, this is just very reminiscent of 2021, when the Rays were dominant and they had like the worst July I've ever seen. And it's starting to get to that. So, you know, the Rays finish up these 2 against Boston, go to the break, and then have Baltimore and Chicago and Cincinnati. Those are your first 9 games out of the break. I mean, you got to make something happen out of those 9 games, and then you go to play the Yankees for New York. You come home for a second, and then you go on that 14-game road trip. So, you know, it's starting to be put up or shut up time for this team. A team that we thought was a lock for the playoffs is struggling to stay competitive right now. And, you know, they're a half game up for a playoff spot after literally a week ago being firmly in control. And, you know, with my energy level is normally very much higher, but I mean, I was so defeated. I literally just sat there staring at the TV for like 5 minutes. Like, I cannot believe that just happened. Well, I can believe it happened. I cannot believe the way that it happened and how that ball, I mean, that was one of the hardest hit balls I've ever seen. And, you know, it was just, of course, at that time, it happened to Pete. It happened, of course, when a 5-pitch walk to Roman Anthony didn't swing the bat. You know, that doesn't happen without the walk to get it there. But, you know, we'll talk about just more about this game and get to your guys' comments right after this. This episode is brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is a reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use websites packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled trade professionals are taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. This episode is also brought to you by Game Time. Have you ever decided last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Game Time comes in. is the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time makes it possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Price on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch. And they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and the lowest price guaranteed that takes the worry out of buying. And the best part about the app is you can see exactly where you're going to sit right before you buy the ticket. It has a great view of your seat. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Again, if you guys are in the live, make sure to leave a comment. I talked about in the game after the Rays lost or won the Twins, the last game of the Twins series. These first two games, or the last game of the Detroit series, I should say. These first two games were so important because there were only two games the Rays had the starting pitching advantage. And especially today, I thought today was an absolute must-win because of the pitching disparity. And, of course, the Red Sox pitcher gets hurt and you're going into a bullpen game. And the offense was lethargic after, the first inning. It was ridiculous to watch. If the Rays didn't get bailed out by the Red Sox, this game would have been over forever ago. So that's just what makes it hurt even more because of the uphill battle the Rays are facing the last two games. If you want me to put an odds of the Rays winning the last two games of this series, is like maybe 20%. So let's look ahead at the game tomorrow. Of course, it's Garrett Crochet that will be on the mound for the Red Sox. Sorry, there's a fly in my room. If you guys see me grasping like an idiot for it, that's why. It's going to be Garrett Crochet versus Shane Baz. Obviously, Garrett Crochet is, him and Tarek School, the two best pitchers in the American League. 9-4 with a 2.3 ERA. Whip right at 1, which is insane for a starting pitcher. His last time out actually got roughed up a little bit. 5 innings, 9 hits, 2 earned against Washington. But he has not pitched against the Rays this season. I think last year he did. Let me double check. But no, he's not pitched against the Rays, at least in the last 2 years. But he has, in June alone, he had 4 starts, giving up 1 run or fewer. He hasn't gone less than 5 innings in an outing. He's just been dominant for the most part this year. So it's going to be one of the toughest tasks the Rays have had in a long time to get to him. So obviously he'll be going up against Shane Baz, who's been really good recently. But they'll need a Herculean performance from Shane Baz tomorrow to keep him in the game with how the Red Sox offense has been going as of late. But, Baz has given up 3 runs or less and, every start since May 18th except for one of them. So he's been a lot better recently, but, the Rays need at least a quality start of him. You need him to at least go 6 innings, giving up 3 runs or less. So let's go to the comments. As we go to I Love Legos, he said, I can't tell you how angry and disappointed I am. Looks like we've fallen for a playoff spot. Technically, no, but we're very, very close to it right now. Dante Hamilton says the baseball gods are just really, really don't like the Rays right now. You're 100% right. They really do not. And, when the Rays were on their streak, I felt like they couldn't do anything wrong. And now when the Rays get down a run, it's like the same as last year, beginning of the year. It's like, oh, it's over. Now, that's it. And that's an incredibly defeating feeling to have. And that's just how I feel right now. And, we'll see if the Rays can turn around the last 2 games or go to It's Cat. He says, this one is frustrating. I don't know what more we can do. Our best reliever blowing games. Yeah, I mean, the Rays got in the perfect spot. Outside of that double steal, and I think it was the 7th. By the way, I think the double steal with 2 outs is probably the most idiotic move in baseball. Like, I get the Red Sox had trouble with wild pitches, but Josh Lowe was scoring on a ball on a base hit. And now the Rays aren't good enough to run out of innings. And the fact that they did in such a big spot there, I mean, that was idiotic. As we go to Hannah Holmes, this is funny. She said, just want to stop by and say how genuinely sorry I am to have to recap this soul-shattering team for the last couple of weeks. No need to be sorry. This is the best job someone can ever have. If Gary brings up the stat I was looking for, 2 for 12 was runners in scoring position. Atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. As we go to Ezra, I think a new commenter just says, I'm sad. I'm depressed, so I am right back with you. As a lot of stuff about Manny Rodriguez too. I mean, it's just an extra punch in the gut. I mean, just terrible. As Jose Rodriguez, probably just something we're all feeling. I'm a Rays fan, do I tie? But this is really frustrating battling from first to fourth. Come on. Yeah, I mean, it's egregious. As we go to N. Dennis, which is something it says something I completely agree with. He says it might be time to put Chandler at the top of the lineup. I agree. I don't know why you're hitting him behind Cabby and Walls, both who are just pretty awful hitters. As we go to Marco, he says break couldn't come any sooner. Yeah, I wish the break would have came five games ago, if I'm being completely honest. As we go to Sarah Parker, which is an interesting comment. I think our hot streak in June was a fluke. I don't think it was because of the length of it. But, what team are the Rays? They haven't really found a middle ground this year. They were good, then really bad, then really good, now really bad again. So I don't know, what the middle ground will be for that. And I mean, I just don't even know, the game plan for tomorrow. Like Crochet isn't Scooble in the fact where you go up against them and you chalk up a win. He can have not control issues, but you saw he's had a few games this year where he's given up big hit numbers, hits allowed. Like his last 2 games, he's allowed 8 hits and 9 hits. Like he's allowed 5 hits or more multiple times. So just since May, he's given up 7 hits, 7 hits, 5 hits, 5 hits, 5 hits, 6 hits, 4 hits, 6 hits, 3 hits, 8 hits, 9 hits. So the hits are there, and he's walked. What is that number? 5 batters the last 3 games. So he's not perfect. I'm not saying Scuba is perfect, but it's just rough to face him when the skid is where it is right now. That's why I thought it was so crucial for the Rays to win this game, and they had it. They led the entire game. They had it. Just go to Riley says need to get hot again, slumping harder right now. Combination of offense woes and bullpen problems. It's a combination of everything. I mean, it is just absolutely awful how bad the Rays have been. As good as I think this is still an important point. I still think it's the best offenses we've had in a while when B-Law comes back. But, just put him on IL. But it was probably the best time for him to go on the IL because, he's only given us the last 2 games and hopefully back. But, yeah, I don't know where you go. When you're hitting Taylor Wall 6, you're really only trusting top 5 in your order. And Josh Lowe hasn't been good this road trip. So when it gets to him, you're still not overly confident. Like you were kind of earlier in the year. Let's take a little deep dive at Josh Lowe. I know I'm being a little harsh on him right now, but he has 3 hits on this road trip. His average at this road trip started at 275 and it's down to 253, just to put in perspective. So I don't really know where you go from here. And Dennis brings up a good point. He says, could you see any of the young hitters in Durham getting called up soon to infuse some energy? Those guys have been playing really well as of late. I mean, who are you sending down? You're not getting rid of Cabby. You're not going to DFA, option Walls. You're not going to. So short answer, no. I think a guy like Christian Morel needs to be playing more. I think a guy like Curtis Meade should play the last 2 games regardless of who's pitching. I know it's Crochet than Bello, but short answer, no. But there are some opportunities for Rays to fix it. I think it starts with they're not going to pat Chandler lead off against a lefty, but I would like the lineup tomorrow to look to have Morel and Wright. They're going to have to play Morel and Wright probably. I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be interesting unless they don't play Magnum, which would be idiotic. No, they are going to play Magnum. They're going to go Morel, Magnum, Cabby in the outfield, and then they're going to go Junior, Kim, Meade, and then I would go Aranda or Yandy, DH Aranda, one of those 2, and then obviously Jansen. But it's going to be, interesting to see the lineup tomorrow and what is just such a massive game. I mean, these last 2 games are just incredibly massive. I mean, as hard as it is terrible saying you have to find a way to split it, which means you lose a 4-game series 3-1. But yeah, it's just dire time. So if you guys watched all the way to the end, I very much appreciate you. If you guys are watching the replay, make sure you leave a like and comment. If you guys are on the live, leave a like before we head out. But again, just one of the most frustrating losses I've seen in a really long time. Probably the most frustrating, gut-punching regular season loss. Definitely this year. I don't know. That Phillies game was so brutal, too, that I remember, too. But, I mean, this is up there. I mean, this is just absolutely brutal. But I appreciate all you guys coming in here to loathe in my pain with me. So, again, I appreciate all of you. We'll be back tomorrow. Day game tomorrow, 4 o'clock game tomorrow. So, we will see you then. Thank you guys all so much for watching.